Welcome, everyone. This topic is situational leadership, and this is what we are going to dwell on today's presentation. So, how is adjusting your leadership style? And I will give you certain mood recordings as to what are the observations and what are the leadership styles, repercussions, and responses thereof can be made or is being made for a greater engagement, retention, motivation of your team. Remember, we are talking nothing but situational leadership. Situational leadership, I'll try to define you with giving certain examples as on when on basis as to what is expected and how it can be done. Let us proceed with the presentations today. So, what exactly is situational leadership? According to Blackouts and Hersey's, a theory of leadership that suggests that you adjust your leadership style to fit the needs of people you hope to lead. It has been shown to increase engagement, increase retention, and has been shown to decrease turnover thereby. Yes, this is the leadership that adjusted the styles just to fit according to the requirement of the organization. Had it been shown to increase engagement with the followers and the retention thereof, definitely it impacts the attrition rate becomes very dismal and very poor. People tend to stay with the leaders who can manage the situation and are always benevolent in their approaches. Increase awareness. Look at the agenda that we are looking about it. In the today's natural leadership style, it is mostly empathetic. Increase awareness of differing leadership needs to those you lead, apply scientific leadership strategies that are appropriate. And when I say appropriate, it is differing to a certain situation that comes around as on when on basis. This is what we are looking into it. Please look into the matter as applying specific leadership strategies that are appropriate to different situation. I will be presenting with a different situation, and it is up to the audience of this videos who will be opting one of the four responses that they go around it. Remember, none of the answers are right, none of the answers are wrong, none of them are correct, none of them are incorrect. It is your presence of mind and it is your reaction, and based upon your reaction will you will be able to get an upper hand over the situation. So let me look into it. As for your natural leadership style is all about it. For example, the first situation, you're thinking about making a change. Remember, this is what is in your mind, change. Your team members have a strong record of achievement. They are overachievers. They are excellent in their trade. They respect the need for change. What would you do? I will give you four responses, alternative responses. Implement the change and closely supervise for the entire success. Use feedback from the team, but directs the change personally as you would have done it. Get the team involved in the change, but not being too directive. You just navigate them. Or have the team develop and implement the change in itself. So put the urge inside the team. Which is the best methodology to go about it? It is up to you to decide. This is one of the situation of another three that needs to be followed around it. You take over a department where a previous supervisor has a tight control in place. You don't want to decrease efficiency, but you feel your grass could have been much more productive if allowed certain amount of input. What you do? A, keep control in place. That is what you are looking into it. Since you don't want to have a drop in the efficiency, you need to be have ensure that the group is more productive. What can you do? You take over as a departmental head, get inputs from the departmental manager. Option number two, makes changes as you deem see fit. Probably, and there are nothing, did I say there are nothing called wrong answer or right answer? Option C is involving the departmental members and revising the control. In fact, they set the parameters. How do you go about it? What is your thought inside it? Let us go to the option number four, assigning a task force to alter control as it does fit. Probably, and I am not qualitatively commenting as to which is a better method or which is a better option or which is the second best option and so on and so forth. Allow me to give you another examples for you to understand. You recently met with your employees to review a policy to clarify your expectation regarding the compliance. However, your employees are not very compliant. They have reservations with the policies and meeting up to your expectation. Now, how do you go around it? The situation, what would you do? Options number A is redefine your expectation, probably lower it, temper it, and what you want to go it, and supervise closely to ensure compliance. One. Option number B is meet with the employees for input, but enforce the policy then and thereby as what is expected. Or should you go for the third option? Option C is allow your employees to suggest policy change and or improvement as the case might be. Avoid applying pressures and trust that employees will come around eventually. It would be bit bit late, but they will eventually come around it. Now, these are the viable options that has been given. Remember, I have tried to draw on situation from workspace itself and nowhere else. Let me come up with finish it up with another situation for you to understand. Your employees are having difficulties. They are facing a problem. What do you do? Option A, tell them the solution, how to fix it. Option number B, work with them, work together to solve the problem. Option C, offer your opinion and encourage them to continue, probably give them the support. And the last option is to let them solve the problem because at the end of the day, it is their problem and they should own up the problem. So, which is their best approach? Now, I have tried to portray four situations to comprehend. Let us go with the fifth one. Your department has been extremely successful in achieving goals. Absolutely, yes. On time, every time, goals achieved. Target covered. Department members have worked exceedingly well together with little or no interventions. In fact, I would say no intervention. However, conflict is escalating. Now, among the departmental members, what would you do? A. Option number A is quickly and firmly correct the situation. This is what you are looking into it, as the case might be, right? Option number B is listen to your employees and then implement your own plan as you deem fitted to be. Discuss the conflict openly with your department. The members encourage them to resolve the situation. Observe them, but never. I again recommend never to intervene. So again, what is the best method to overcome such kind of situation? So this is what situational leadership is all about as far as Hershey and Blanket goes around it. Remember, the style has been mapped of the leadership. It is all about concerns for people and concerns for tasks. Remember, task has been planted or plotted on the x-axis, and the concern of people or relationship is being plotted on the y-axis. So when the relationship is low and task is low, it is all about delegating and forgetting it. It's a low directive, low participative. You don't need to go around it. But when if it is task is very important and concern for people is not so, so you instruct, direct, issue orders as highly directive and less participative as the case might be. But what happens when there is a high concerns for people and low concerns for the task in the first place, as the case might be? What do you go across? How do you see the things play out? This is where it is all supportive in natures. You are looking for low directive and high participative, as the case might be. But extremely well would be concerns for task and concerns for people. And here it is all about coaching, looking at parity between maintaining a healthy relationship at the same time not compromising on the objectives as the case might be. So styles would be in delegating, you talk, you decide. Yes, it's been awarded to you, get the job done. How you get it done is your business. Directing is wherein I talk as a leader, I speak and you just implement. I do the whole thing. You just implement. I will talk. I will decide. But what happens when relationship is all about it? It's a we business, right? What is we business? In we talk and we decide, because this is what has been concerned. Relationship is of primal importance. But what happens in coaching wherein there is a parity between the task and the people? It is the coaching we talk and I decide, as the case might be. Coaching is we talk and I decide. So let us understand the leadership style thereby. So Directing is high direction and low support, absolutely, because it's a mundane kind of job, probably, or probably the style of the leaders is only issuing orders and dictates can every now and then. Primarily a one way, single way communication. The task gets more attention, definitely more than the people, almost always, every time. The leaders direct the followers regarding the task accomplishment. This is what we are looking into. The leaders supervises very closely, minutely. The leader gives regular feedback on the performance of the employee or the downline staff. The employees has absolutely no involvement in decision making or problem solving abilities as the case might be. On the other hand, when it comes to coaching, it is everything about concerns for task and concerns for people is on a higher end. That means high direction and high support. The task and person receives equal, uh, if not less. They are at par with each other and have equal attention. The leaders continue to close on the task accomplishment, supervisions, and immediate feedback. The leaders also become most supportive, offering encourages and reassurance as the case might be. Remember, the leader begins to open up two-way communication by soliciting suggestion and explaining the decision thereof. This is what is we are talking about all the way. That is the truth around it as coaching is concerned. In cases of supporting, it is low directional and high support. It is supporting just simple. Remember, we are looking at the concerns from people being on the higher end. Yes, it's been mentioned. The person receives more attention, more as compared to the task. The leader provides minimal directions, supervisions, and feedback. Often the leader now concentrate only in supporting their staff, the employees, engaging them, encouraging them, praising them. It's a two-way communication. We talk, we support, we extend, we do. It's a leader and employee working together. The leaders and employees share responsibility of decision making and problem solving in this scenario, as the case is all about it. Remember, we are talking about situational leadership, low directions. This is what is required as on when on basis. So low direction, low support, wherein there's none importance for the concerns for person or concerns for task. Neither of them are as important as the other objective. So the leader turns over the responsibility for decision making and problem solving to the employees. In all probabilities, these are the routine jobs that the employee are supposed to work up in doing it without any hindrance or any helps required. Communication is limited, but when it occurs, it is a two-way communication. If there are any impediment, definitely there will be a two-way communication. Direction, similarly like communication, even direction is limited to set the parameters of task accomplishment as the case might be. Now let us understand situational leadership. That is what we are looking as far as adjusting your style, and I will give you certain responses for adjusting your style and what actually goes to the mind of the leaders. And I am not trying to predict your mind, but probably you need to identify which thoughts are the right process. That will be done in the back end of the presentation. Allow me to give me another 6 minutes to come to that objectives thereby. Let us understand the adjusting your style. It depends on engagement. What engagement? Employee engagement. Competence thereof. Engagement is a level of commitment and willingness and general attitude towards the work as the case might be. Remember, engagement is all that we counts about it. If there is proper engagement, there is a proper understanding between all the employees, the supervisors, and the employee thereof. Competence is the other quality that is a mandatory requirement for why to it has the ability to do the task at home based on KSA, that is knowledge, skills, and experience or attitude, is what the competence is all about. It we need to finish it off as the case might be. Coming back to the leadership's matrix as far as Hershey's and blankets are concerned. We have spoken about the competence and engagement. Remember the last time that we were marking it, it was task and concern for relationship was given. I say concern for task and concern for people would be the much better elaboration, but nevertheless, another word would be task or competence or relationship or engagement as the keep as the requirement about it. Remember, when the competence is low, when even the engagement is low, it's delegating, right? That is on a self-reliant. It is the mundane tasks that has been kept upon, done upon things. So leadership style is being delegated is a self-reliant achiever. But what happens when the competence is low and the engagement is high? Absolutely, it is where you know about directing or enthusiastic beginner, as the case might be. So what happened when it comes to a low engagement and low competence? It is where you require disillusioned learner. It requires a lot of coaching, as the case might be, which might not be the case when it comes with engagement being on a lower side, but the competence is definitely on a higher side. It is the supporting event as leadership, which is capable and cautious performer, as the case might be. This is what we are adjusting the style in the same context as I've mentioned earlier. Remember, competence and engagement comes hand in hand. Enthusiastic beginner is someone who has high engagement but low competence. With beginners, self-conscious confidence is usually high, but it is often a false sense of confidence based on the lack of understanding on the complexity of the tasks and the difficulties of the task, thereby, as the case might be, definitely there. You need to go around it and probably take it out from again and again. The disillusioned learner is someone who has low engagement and absolutely low competence. Remember, this is what we are talking about. The disillusioned learner is all about it. The learner who does not understand, who does not are not passionate enough, probably does not have the requisite knowledge or skills. At this level, employees become discouraged as they discover the more I learn, the more I realize that I do not know any other thing. And that is what is you need to adjust your style for your leadership in similar situation where you have a disillusioned learner. But what happens when there is a learner who is capable but uh, is risk averse, or who is a very cautious performer, a person who has moderate engagement, probably moderate competence, probably what we are talking about here, the person knows ins and outs of the job, but when it comes to execution, doesn't have enough confidence into it. So at this level, the employees might be afraid of making a mistake, of doing the task over a long period of time, might have also lost interest. And this is, as a leader, you have to change your style for leadership, as the case might be. This is what we need to understand. Let us move to the next slide of self-reliant achiever, a person who has immense engagement and immense competence, a person who is an ideal employee, the self-reliant achiever. At this level, the employees have experience, have success on the job, and they are confident about repeating the performances again and again. These peak performers are ready and willing to take additional responsibilities, as the case want to go around it. Now we talk about your situational leadership. This is what we are talking around it. I will be noting out, giving you the inputs, what goes to the thought process of an individual who is a leader, about who is going to man a particular situation in terms of observation, previous experience, effective questioning. Now we'll ask the questioning for which we need to understand and probably comprehend the observations or thought process thereby. Effective questioning: do you feel you need any additional retraining? You may say yes, you may say no, you may say maybe, perhaps, whatever. The response is: what is your greatest work accomplishment? Was it because of you or because of the circumstances? And how do you respond it? Can you tell me about any of the planning process you used for your last project? And what was the role in your department, as the case might be? This is what we will be discussing in the subsequent slide regarding the observation of the situational leadership. We'll ask about engagements, the effective question: are you satisfied by the ways the things have been done? Are you happy with how the things are flowing? Can you evaluate yourself in a position, and what part of the job fulfills you? What matters the most? Which is the closest to your heart? Is there anything else that you want to take on as on the responsibilities are concerned? So I will said the observation, the thought process in the next 4 or 5 slide, precisely 4 slide, if I may say so. So what is it? What is the adjustment style? What are the thought process? Let me read it out as per my understanding. Even though I have been on this job for several years, I still second guess the decision I make. It is not the lack of training. I have the skills, I have the experience of doing my job well. I am just afraid of making mistake, and this is a viable option. You name it, you may own it up, you may not own it up, but this is the factual thing that comes in your mind. The other observation that comes in your process, in your mind, the thought process, I know I have a lot to learn, but I love my job. I want to be the best in what I do. My mentor is great. I'm learning so much. Is there any additional training I can attend? I'm worried and I'm not learning fast enough, as the case might be. Another thought process that crisscrosses your mind. It says there is eagerness, there is a fire in your belly, and you are in awe with awe of your mentor. Probably you are not getting or able to grasp this things quick enough. Let me go to another responses that comes in your mind. Well, again, these are proxy responses that I've formatted. You may agree with the responses, you may not. In fact, at least one or two responses you should agree in all majority. I like my job, but it is not what I thought it to be. It's not the lack of skills. Remember, I'm good with people and with software we use. I just don't have the requisite knowledge, all the knowledge that I require. I'm frustrated because I still have to ask for help to get things done. This is what has been done every now and then. So, one more observation for your understanding. I am pretty confident about doing this job. I know I've got the requisite knowledge, requisite skills to do a great job. I love what I do, but I did love to have an opportunity to have some more autonomy, some more relaxation, and some more leaderships that is going to be dropped into me, so that I can bring in my personal style and in the execution of the work. One of the things that comes around it. Remember, it's all about positivity, but there are certain reservations, there are certain elements of regret probably wrapped into the response part of it. The last response. It is true, I've been a code enforcement for years. I've done this job for many years, but my department just started using tablets for all our paperwork. I hate them. I can get proper pictures and I don't know where my files are sometimes, and it seems to run out of power every now and then as I require it. These are basic opportunities, basic style, basic thought process, basic responses that I have tried to record in this particular presentation. And I started with a proxy situations on 5 situations that I've enabled in, and now I've wrapped up with 4 responses or 5 responses thereby, to give you a clear understanding of what situational leadership is all about it. I hope the audience of this particular video have understood situational leadership, the style based on competence engagement, the style based on concern for relationship and the task which has to be done and how it has to be proceeded with. Thank you for watching this video.